the Playground Investment Trust, because where he wants you to do is become a millionaire and be able to use the earth as a playground. What I've done for you. So I'm a fund manager, and we want to manage funds. And what we want to do is we want to be good stewards of those funds, and we want to return people a higher rate of return. So this is the done-for-you system. So if you're out there, and if you have a stock, bond, mutual fund, IRA, 401k, 403b, or any type of non-performing asset that's not getting you return, we want to show you how you can get a 6% up to a 15% return based on the time period, the amount, and the frequency of how you want to get paid. If you need to get payments in the bi-yearly, if you need to get paid annually, or if you can wait until we accrue the payment all the way to the end of a 36, 48, or 60-month term. Then, based on those criteria, we can come up with a specialized return. What we his portfolio of what he's bought with the investors that Paul has brought in. So what the problem is low interest rates are creating underperforming returns for investors. They're not realizing a higher ROI in this economy of low rates and high management fees, and many 401ks, stock bonds, mutual funds, money markets, savings accounts, etc., are leaving investors' capital underperforming. Our solution, it's a passive investing platform that consistently earns proven high rates of return. There's a massive inventory of super liens, and the earning potentials for the company, why we can pay you up to 15%, is because we can earn 20% or more. Does that make sense? We can pay you more based on, don't be cold.
Thank you.
Just making sure you're okay. You look uncomfortable.
I'm very cold.
Yeah. You want a blanket? You want a cover?
I'm good.
Okay. Which allows us to earn 20% or more for 5 to 10 years. This is why we can come in, and then we are going to start looking for institutional investors that have big money, so we can start doing this not only here but nationwide. So our super lean acquisitions of what we're buying properties for, or acquiring properties. So far, of the 47 properties in the portfolio together with other investors that we can show, and they can go online, especially, this is why the auction properties are great, because you can see exactly when we bought it, how we bought it, and when we bought it for. Out of the 47, we're going to talk about 37 properties, but out of the acquisition, it's 2 million, let's just say. The expenses are $383,000. The liens were $1 million. Now the gross rents were 1.5, and the gross sales were 3.4. So there was a net profit of 1.5. That's broken down into, of the 47 properties, there's 37 that were actually sold or in play, and then 10 are either getting repaired or, and I'll explain it to you. So 19 of them were sold, and that was 1.6 million for the acquisition. The liens were 525, 2.67 million in gross sales, so there was 711,000 in profit. So there's different. Another 6 of the properties are being rented. The acquisition cost was 118, the expenses were 52, the legal was 9,400, repairs 11,000, gross rents 329,000. Net profit of 241. So we have sales and we have rentals based on the model that we look at and how we depend on picking up the properties, because once again we pick up the property for between 5% to, now that's to control it. There may be a mortgage on it, there may be problems on it, there may be issues that we can legally of 36 months to where I have a case that I've stopped the foreclosure for 11 years. Yeah. The net profit on this is 241,000. 3 properties are for sale right now. The acquisition cost was 97, repairs 3, legal 1, Association is 3,900. Super lien cost is 105, so the total liens are 522. Potential market value is 792, so there should be a surplus of 138,000 on these properties yet for sale in his portfolio. They can reverse the sale. And if it is the right way to do it, and we don't, but if it's something that they're walking away from and they don't care, but there are 4 people that needed to be refunded, and we refunded them happily with no contests so they can get their home back. They paid whatever it was, and they were go ahead living their lives. So those refunds were 137,000 of this. Temporary cash flows. So 12 of them were purchased with knowing that it was over leveraged, and we were just going to rent it for 36 months of rent and 11 months of rent to acquire it, and we could hold it for 36 months worth of rent, then we have a surplus or more months, 24 to 36 months of rental income. So within 6 months to 12 months, we've already recouped the expense, the acquisition cost, and then now we're in the profit. Depending on how we pick up the property, to get out, it could get us 2 to 6 times the monthly rent. So the net.
Not everybody here is aware of what Airbnb is.
Airbnb is like a vacation rental program where people can rent a room, and it's like a bed and breakfast. Everyone knows what it is.
Bed and breakfast.
But it's like a bed. You could do online bed and breakfasts where people come for a weekend, you know, for a room or two, and then their family would vacation, and instead of staying in a hotel, they are staying in a house. And you can make, there are people who are becoming millionaires off of doing the bed and breakfasts. Temporary cash flows. Rents 872. And of the temporary cash flows, the ones that had low liens or small mortgages that could be resolved with paying off the debt or finding a sale, sold revenue is 701, net profit of 606,000. 2 investors or personal usage, like this one. This is a personal usage. We've turned it into an office, a presentation space, where you could walk in and you could say, well, why would I want you to invest is because this is the type of properties that we're looking for to invest in. These are the values that we're expecting to get. So for the long haul, if you're expecting this money, if you're 55, say a husband and wife in a 401k have $500, it's $1 million. Now, what are they expected to live on? 1% return? That's $10,000 a year on $1 million. You can't do anything with that. I mean, how could you pay your bills? You thought maybe you were going to retire wealthy, and now you're going to have to into your principal, and then once your principal's gone, you're going to have to go back to work. And what if they can get 6%, and if they needed it bi-monthly, then $5,000 a month. I mean, you tell me, $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year, or $10,000, which is like $800-something a month. I think you could live comfortably on $5,000 a month as opposed to $800 a month, and you'd want to know that that $5,000 a month is coming in every month because you've invested. So this is the type of properties that we want you to see and feel and experience. Good. So investor personal usage, 29,000. Association expenses, 20 grand. Legal expenses, 2,000. Usage of market rents, 58,000. Net profit per month, this is, well, what is this, almost 35, 4,000 that you would send that you don't have to spend, that we can now use it as a platform to show others how together we can combine our forces and we become successful and wealthy. One future refund, there's a problem that's going on and it hasn't happened yet, so it's in the process.
Right.
So there's internal minimize all these by doing the intense amount of research. Net profit, 19 sold, 6 rented, 12 temporary cash flows. Of those, it was a $1.5 million profit with the potential of another $138,000 for 1.6 or 1.7 million, 1699, 667. South Florida market, the
$3 million investor.
Dade County, there's 20,000 properties that have, these are specific HOA problems. Homeowner association, condos, houses, villas. Broward County has another 20,000, Palm Beach has 15,000, so there's over 57,000. Of where it is, and these numbers, they're moving. So as things update, I switch the slides and things have changed. So future opportunities between what's going on now and the pre-foreclosures. Foreclosures that are listed that are going now, and then we're talking about the pre-foreclosures. Now our market opens up to 133,000 properties that we can have a potential to invest in. Properties that are super lean, they're single families, condos, townhouses, and villas. Our strengths are strategic alliances with realtors, mortgage brokers, property managers, and buyers. And why I put realtors first is because they're the hands-on people who are talking actively to investors who are in pre-foreclosure or who need to list the properties to get them sold before the foreclosure. And if it doesn't get sold and it doesn't go to foreclosure auction, we may have a shot at it before anyone else. So that's why I say realtors, then there's attorneys, mortgage brokers, and managers, wholesalers, financial institution money. And then the research development is our expertise, then our bidding, the way we bid and how we look at how we're buying the property, buying more properties, getting more partners on, and then creating more opportunities. Our team, there's a bunch of us, and then there's going to be a bunch more. But it's a diverse group of people, and this is not really done. You're at our beta testing. He was telling me, because I was painting, I was doing this myself. Yeah, because 3 weeks ago we were like, he was like, look, because we're moving in, we're moving out. It's not we're going to use it as an office. So I said, let me do what I want to do to it, and then let's make it an office. So yesterday you were like, hey, you need to finish. So right before you guys came, and we were everything. So I have everything for 3 weeks of me tape. Right? So we had a couple of people sitting around. They were on the ladders. Everybody was talking. Set up. So what I was just trying to show you is the facts of what has already gone on and what we're about to do. And then what we can do right now is I'm going to talk 10 minutes or so to how do I relate and why am I here speaking? Because I have a lot of experience in dealing with what is going to create generational wealth for us. So, let's see. So here's what I talk to realtors about becoming a power. going out there and finding and being able to list 3 to 10 properties a month. Sorry. My bad, guys. We just set everything up. So the goal
for realtors is to be able to list 3 to 10 properties per month looking for pre-foreclosure properties. If there's 133 opportunities, there's ways that if someone were to come in and they have no money,
they're a realtor in, or they can knock on the door and they can talk to a property owner and they can bring a deal and they can make money. So that's Wendy. These are 50 brokers, not realtors.
50 brokers, not realtors, brokers. I'm not looking for 50 churchgoers, I need 50 pastors. Because the leaders are where they need to go.
Congregation. So she's been involved for 15 years. She's been in business down here 25 years. And what I'm doing is I'm speaking to the 50 brokers about how they can make money.
He has a service for them. If they want to keep it their home, they can stay.
Ovid,
And maybe you can get a referral.
he happens to be Haitian too. I'm rolling.
No. You need to stop the foreclosure to save your commission, to make sure that we profit when we get to the end. This is what we're going to do, and this is the guy they're going to bring on, just so you know what can go down. Now, B, tell me about what that $1.2 million deal you did real quick. Oh, yeah, that was one of the deals was.
Anyway, so now I'm talking about finding luxury short sale deals, $1 million and above. A lot of people don't play in that arena. This is where I'm at. So I met Dr. Henry Sannon at a How to Start Your Own Hedge Fund event in Las Vegas. So while we were there, everybody was like, hey, I'd like to raise, $1 million. I'd like to raise $2 million, $5 million. I jumped up and I was like, I need $100 million. I'm the only one in the room that said I needed $100 million. Everybody was at 1 to 5 or 10 million. You see how much money is going through the auctions right now.
This man here can talk to you about billions.
That's correct.
I guarantee you. This man here. Billions. Soon. He's going to come up and tell you what the banks are. He's got everything in place.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go through a little bit of stuff.
Right?
Here's
I think we can use your money. The money that you... I think we can use your money. The money that you've been trying to work, I think...
There's a guy, his name is William DeTemple. So I told you, in my other life, where Dr. Henry Sannon had met me, and how I know Dr. Did you say he was your cousin?
Yeah.
So anyways, how I know Dr. Henry Sannon is that, awesome. So what I was doing was, I was looking to raise the first 100 million of the real money that I'm talking about. And the goal is to buy and sell 1 million properties a year. And it's very easy to buy and sell 1 million properties a year by showing people how to do it, what to do, from people who have cash, who have credit, or who have time. You give me one of those 3 things, and you put your effort into it, and we could turn it into something. So what William does is he is the founder of Antirion, and his goal is to help build $100 million companies as a coach. So what I've done is, his cost is $20,000. He charges about $2,500 to $3,000 an hour. So I have a marketing company also, so he wanted a testimonial. And what I did is I did a testimonial for him.
My name is Romeo Sykes. I've been a real estate investor since 2000, and I specialize in multi-million-dollar luxury distressed properties. Working with William, who offers a one-on-one coaching program on such such a personal love. So he gets to know and understand not only what you want, but what you're going to need to take what you're going to the next level, just like he's helping you to take mine. The coaching has consisted of hours on the phone and numerous in-person visits, plus all the time he takes to digest your vision and help your vision steps together. Personal time with William has shown me how to raise capital in a new way. With the valuation of a company could be worth hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. Or we could bring in investor capital. In turn, give them a high rate of return. The goal of my company is to raise substantial capital in multiple investment rounds while still maintaining control of the real estate empire my team and I built. With William's knowledge and his we're looking to be able to scale our business to the $1 billion plus level, and our goal is to one day have a minimum of 100,000 to our goal of 1 million residential, commercial, and industrial properties. William's capacity to understand building a multi-billion-dollar company is invaluable, and the direction and knowledge received through his coaching is one of the main factors that I am counting on to help my company reach and exceed all of my hopes, dreams, and goals. As one of William's coaching clients, we are working closely with him to begin our first round of capital raising with his expert guidance. So this is one of several testimonials that you'll hear as we go through our capital raises. I want to encourage anyone and everyone who's looking for a business coach to take a hard, long look at what Antirian has to offer and what William can do for your business, and how he can help you grow and scale to where it is what you want it to be. Here's to your success and to mine working with William the Temple. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the top.
To get marketing like this, your business.
And then we threw in our ad at the end, of course. So what I'm doing right now is I'm being modest, but it's the private money bank mastermind. And $100 million is where it's always been at. So I've hired people. I've been to seminars, where to get the money now, how to raise $2 million, how to use self-directed IRAs, how to use 401ks, how to have the average person who doesn't know how to invest get involved in a done-for-them system where we can reliably return them a high rate of return that they can depend on and count on from now and years to come. And this is the platform of where wealth begins. And this is how we do it amongst ourselves. And then we build, and when I say amongst ourselves, anyone who comes in and has the dream to do more, be more, and have their neighbor, their family, their mother, their brother, get involved in something that they know, feel, and can trust because they're doing it themselves. Ron LeGrand. Funding experts.
Hey guys, it's Romeo Sykes again with the Real Estate Investment Club. And as I keep telling you, I'm bringing the best of the best to our club. So, who do I have? I have Chris Johnson, the grant writing expert, here to help you do several things. I'm going to let Chris talk for a second. But like I said,
Can you speak to him often?
Chris?
Grant funding is money that you can use for your real estate investing, starting a business, even getting your kids educated from college, university for free. This man has put together such an amazing venue, system, series of ways to get educated, and therefore he's got people like myself who are going to come in and work hands-on with you to help you through the process. I specialize in government grant funding from federal, state, and local sources, even private money to help fund your deals, pay for your real estate fix-ups, improvements, renovations, acquisition, you name it. Money for your real estate business or any business for that matter. Even if you get a kid going to college, that's expensive. I help you get those costs covered through the techniques I teach. So come to the events or join the webinars, whatever he's going to do for you. Make sure you plug in because I'll be there to work with you and help you and teach you, show you what this money is and how it works. My clients over the last many years have received millions of dollars in government grants for all kinds of situations, non-repayable, free grant money from all sources of government funding, and I can show you how to get this. So take advantage of this training, plug in, be there, show up, and I'll work with you and help you get the money.
Now, here's the seminar. Now, these are people we paid $50 here.
10 years ago, I went to all these courses. So if anybody's sitting on the fence about spending $3 grand, oh my God. So when I met him, he was
Now, this is Ron LeGrand. Ron teaches how to buy houses with no money down. Your sweat equity, and then you can go find a deal. And what we could do is we could have everybody go out there, look for a deal. We could evaluate the deal. We can source the funds. We can get the deal done, and we can come through the organizations and then do that. Now we're starting to place the money that's sitting, doing nothing, in people levels of, let's say, care, and that way when the deals get done and the money first, it's something that people can count on. Once again, consistency. So this is an event where, and I got most of the worlds where I've spent $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. You've been to Montelongo events. There's not too many minorities. I've spent $1 million on my education or more, and I've seen very few minorities. So most of this doesn't get out. What we're trying to do is I'm trying to put it in a way where it equalizes the playing field. If we could find people that have the time and the ambition, and then we raise the capital, there's ways that everybody can be profitable. To have the capital already, there's ways that you can make a high rate of return. So time, cash, or credit. Attorney Bob Bloom.
Guys, it's Romeo again. I'm here with Bob Bloom, the attorney, and he is one of the best on asset protection. We've just went through a couple hours, and he explains from A to Z what to do. So like I said, I'm bringing you the best speakers, and Bob Bloom for asset protection is also an attorney. That's right. Thank you, Romeo. Everybody,
Asset protection, real estate investing, more real estate investing. And these people are people who've put together 200, 500,000 unit portfolios with people who have very little cash. Or
John Island. We're at an event today, and John is just showing us how to flip and cash flow properties. I'm going to turn it over to John for a second.
Hey guys, can't wait to see you down in Miami and listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. We'll have
business lines of credit.
Is Thomas Kish, author and national business funding expert. I'm very pleased to be here with my good friend Romeo. Hey guys, how you doing? What we're going to do is
Upstairs. I can't.
What? What?
Because I'm on a conference call.
Where's the real estate investing book?
Already built more than $100,000. Exactly what he said.
So imagine if 20 credit scores to the right, everyone with 719 credit. That had bad credit or had problems in the past or wish they can get past challenges. Maybe they have a little bit of cash, but they don't have the credit. Where they can have credit cards where you may have paid your credit card for 10, 15, 20 years. It's in good standing. You can open up 99 authorized user credit cards where someone could sign on through a program that we have. Then we could then put them on their personal credit, and you could have 5 or 10 people with 820, 800, 850 scores have their credit within 60, 90 days jump onto that other person's credit. Now is we're taking people who are not credit worthy, making them credit worthy, opening up what Thomas Kish teaches, and he's opened up 100,000 corporations of understand how to manage and rapidly improve credit scores. So we could take everybody with a bad credit score and make them a good credit score, so we could turn people who could invest into investors. Now they couldn't do before without utilizing and or resources. Start a business on paper. So we're going to apply, especially what he's teaching, is business lines of credit, blocks. Now, if you can find a business line of credit, we'd like to be able to use it into true line of credit. But if not, there's what's called phantom business credit. So we can now take people and turn them into investors that have $50,000, $100,000 that we can then take in a corporation, pool it, put it over here. Let's say if it's 20 people and they got 50,000, charge those, put that money into a regular bank, and if we had $1 million, they give us a line of credit right on that for about 150 to 200,000, easy. And then if we move it from bank to bank, and if we do that several different times, but if we did that at every event, and we only need 25 people per church or organization for us to get this done, and then each one could now build on credit, and then we could help the organization for a fee, and everyone has to pay something because they're not going to respect it if they don't pay for it. So we're going to marry, and then so now you might have a person that says, well, I have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, I want to fix my credit, but I want to fix it the right way. And then you have someone that says, I have perfect credit, well, how will that help me? Well, you can have 99 people, and you can start getting paid between $10 and $100 a month per person, because that person's going to pay, and then you're going to keep your credit up. And you're going to get paid to keep your credit up, and you're going to put them on the card, and when you get the card, it's going to come to you in your name, in their name, underneath your account. You're going to go and you're going to charge some gas, and in 60 days, your 10 or 20 years is going to go on their credit. What is that worth? Then we do that with 10 people on one person, and then we make him credit worthy, and then we get business lines of credit off of that person. So we take people who have 500, 600, no credit, and we make them into credit worthy people. Learn how working with partners will increase your profits by up to 500%, and aggressively acquire as many unsecured business lines of credit as possible. Now this video,
we're not just talking theory here, we're talking fact. Thomas is the man. It's what I call the miracle of creation, having access to these business lines of credit that you can use for any purpose, no matter what situation you're in. So I would recommend the people that you have in your organization come out to the event that we're going to do. It's going to be life-changing. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get some amazing content, and you'll be just thrilled with what you can do when you have access to funding, to planning, and to structuring that you can use in any business you want to. So we'll see you there. Absolutely. And if some of you are wondering, hey, I'm not in Florida, or I'm not in Michigan right now, or maybe wondering, how am I going to keep it right now? We're going to put something live on the webinar, and we're going to have kids for you to talk over the internet. So for those several hundred of you out there that wanted to open up in your own state, just stay tuned. I have the best in the business. Thank you for the internet. Take everybody and help them all. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Everybody and help them all. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
What's the time frame?
what is the time frame? Well, Paul wants to have 2,000 people in the organization by February. So we're going to have the first 2,000 founding members. So it's January 2nd. We'd like to have 2,000 people in the organization. There's going to be a fee.
2,000 people in the organization. There's going to be a fee for the organization. And after we get the founding members, then there's going to be a monthly fee. So we're going to have a one lifetime
Little founding group, and then, like I said, we're going to charge a little membership fee for them, just the small one, just to help us get off the ground, blah, 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 to show people what we can do for, and then after that 2,000 comes in, and then boom, there's going to be fees, like, just like we paid 25,000, we paid 50,000, I paid 100,000 for coaching, and people have paid me 100,000. So what I want to do is I want to be able to share with the person who really wants to become a millionaire and has no way to become a millionaire, and we give them this little ability, and then we give people who have the means and the access that have bad credit or no cash to become good credit people, We have the means to people who have the time to go find deals. We have the means for people who have cash and they don't have the time or the credit to invest.
So how much to be a member?
Oh, well, right now I think he's going to charge a one-time fee for the first 2,000 people, like $500. So you get in lifetime, and then you're going to get access to our beginner level of the mentality and the mindset of wealth and the opportunity for you to get from there, then you can get. What you said, you're going to charge a one-time fee of a lifetime fee for the first 2,000 members of $500?
Yes.
Hey, Shabli. It's great to see you, man.
It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Nobody else is going to benefit from this.
So we did it. We kicked off our very first event in Miami.
So this is one of my teachers, Jeff.
The foreclosure crisis is far from over.
The gaping wound of the housing crisis and the Great Recession that immediately followed it was a huge jump in the number of foreclosures in cities and regions around the country.
Which leads the nation.
One of the biggest cities foreclosures across the country.
300,000 cases still pending. Another 500,000 homeowners delinquent.
We actually had people that were in foreclosure that were right there, came to our room to learn how to make money out of the situation that they're in. So we were able to show people that were in foreclosure how to do short sales.
Hundreds of thousands of modified loans about to balloon in payments.
Other things that happened were actually people there that learned how to make some serious money. So we were able to see cash one deal, one check, one pre-foreclosure deal, and over $400,000.
For like maybe 15 to 20 teachers, I'm the #1 real estate investor student for no money down, for short sales, for foreclosures. I spent a ton of time, of money on my education and the formulation of understanding how to get involved in real estate from the lowest level of fixing properties. Or I could show you a video 10 years ago of me actually fixing the house from soup to nuts, being a contractor before that for years, and then understanding how to get into the financial realm of helping people in their problems. Now, I'm out of real estate, and I'm going to be teaching the real estate investing, but I'm into the finance. We're building a fund, and I'd like to rival BlackRock, and they have like $5 trillion. And I know we can do it. Because there's so much real estate out there that's not getting done. And there's more that I would have to get off camera and tell you about, because it shouldn't be on camera, of how interesting we're going to get with what we're doing because of the litigation. So out of thousands of students, I was cashing $100,000 to $700,000 and $500,000 checks back in 2001, 2002. I was doing short sales in 2001 when the market didn't crash till 2007. Well, what we're going to be able to do is several things. We're going to be doing a lot of the meetings here until we find other most influential people.
We want you to bring the most influential people to the deal.
Look at our deal.
What do we do?
Come to our deal.
Look at our deal.
This is the deal.
Come to our deal. This is the deal.
Then they send someone they trust, that they know very well, and then they experience it. But what we're trying to do, and this is why this was done, is for you to experience what it's like to invest with us. This is the done-for-you system. This is why we want to raise $2 million, and we can buy, and we can turn this into money, and they can get their money back, and we can start the action right now. So what we're doing...
What we're doing right now, like I said, is the tester. But in the next 4 weeks, we want to have 2,000 people enrolled. And every person that you help bring in the network...
$100 a house, $50 or $10,000 a house, who knows? But every person that you bring in, we're going to do an organization so we can start becoming wealthy together. So starting...
We can start becoming wealthy together. Does starting to make sense? So organizations can help organizations. And there's 3 things that, I promise...
to help each person become successful. So help yourself.
Help yourself. The second thing is help the
5 to 10% to the church. So if we make investors out of all, we have 100 investors in the church, they've made money, they can give back to the church. Now, what will the church do? The third thing is help Haiti. So we have
is help Haiti. So we have ways that these guys have shipment, bringing you dirt in, helping the population over there.
strong community, you can do those three things, and those three things can
Do those three things, those three things can then revolve around the main goal of what he's trying to do, which is why we're together. He's done, like he's doing your
jump in, do it themselves, and get out and don't want to have a partner.
and get out and don't want to have a partner. And our system is perfect for all those people who
Don't have the experience, but still want to invest. So where I'm is because I'm creating a private money bank mastermind. I'm doing several things of the to investors for a fee. But as you can see, I'm charging them something much different than what they're doing. I'm charging
much different than what you guys are doing. I'm trying to do a program where we help people that need the help. But there has to be a fee to get in. That's what we talk about. I'm trying to make something so
$100 is a lot of money to some people. I mean, it just is. And then $500.
I mean, it just is. And $500 is nothing to other people.
Say, hey,
But it's something where they say, hey, if I put something
10,000, 25,000, 50,000, 75,000, and 100 grand. I'm doing something completely different. So people can then get money, do their deals, and they can do 100 deals, and we could fund them on the right deals. These are for people who are designed to make money, get involved in the higher levels of a club. So then we start taking the people, and then we start moving them through the levels of education, to the levels of knowledge, to the levels of it. Anyway, thank you for attending the presentation. We're going to question. If you have any questions pertaining to this, or we can do that. Yeah, just in general, because you said you may want to have.
Well, I'll wait till you turn off the camera.
Okay. Do you have any other questions that I can answer right now?
Let's say right now I saw opportunity to sell. So I said now, but start now. So could if I give you 5 address, 5 telephone number, what do you do now?
Well, here's what it is. And how do we show somebody, like we're not selling other people's property. Giving you 5 properties, $600,000 in net profit in each one.
No, he's saying, he's saying it's 35,000. But between 30 and 35,000 of equity in the properties.
See that?
He's saying.
Look, we can put right on the front tomorrow. Options, owner finance, and then you put 10 to 20% down, and then we call a couple realtors, open houses, and then we start showing it. And then what we're looking for is and then we could do a round robin, which is we could hold an auction for the highest down payment. So there's 3 things that we can do: lease options, owner financing, and a round robin. Then you get people who will come through the door, and you can do the marketing, who will then say, well, you know what I want to do is I want to put down 10 or 20%. Then based on that, you can then get paid up front. Then you could charge them a fee in the middle between if there was a mortgage or not, or whatever the fee daily is for the property. Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Good. So we can say what a fee for the property would be. Sorry, the door got me. What was I saying?
No, you were talking about two different ways you can actually lease.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. The lease option, the owner finance. So let's say someone wanted to do, let's say if the best we get is a lease with an option to buy, then someone could put down 10% and then we'll hold it for them. But here's the kicker. Whatever the price of the house is, we're going to charge 10 to 15% more because we're holding the note. And then what you can do is then you can turn around and you can then find the right person because now you have the note who will then buy the note at a discount, giving you the price that you want. So you can, if you set the deal together, then if you don't want, if it's not enough in the down payments because you're going to get 10 to 20%. So let's just say, let me give you an example. The house, we're going to charge them $330 to $350, but we're holding the note. So someone says, okay, well, and we know the house is worth $300,000 in market value, but future value is $350, we're saying, based on what we know, because we're the investors, and that's what they're buying. So someone comes in and says, okay, I'll put down 10%. They have to put down $35,000, and then you're going to then make $15,000. Out of that, let's say time they're just paying rent, which would be X amount more than what either the mortgage or the cost of the daily property would be. Minus whatever the mortgage is. Let's say there's a mortgage of, but we charge $350. Now you still have $115,000 left in supposed equity that they're going to cash out with. And then if you find the right banker with the correct paperwork and you show them, it's the lease with the option to buy, it's a contract, and they've been paying it faithfully, you should be able to shop around and find them a bank that will then finance them out within the 5th-year period. But you don't want to do that too early because then you're not taking the profit. And then every year. Does that make sense?
It's not his property, though. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I mean,
but I mean, still.
Like I was saying, likely that's. That's not. We're a whole different thing. It's like if you go to Blackstone. Yeah, if you go to Blackstone, we're trying to buy 100 properties a week. We're trying to rent them. We're trying to sell them. We want you to become part of that.
Maybe what the process, if he can identify those 5 properties, can you guys do your research and see, can, assist how we can, are they in auction? Are there any way that we can get those properties? Where he can help, whatever the way that you guys will do it, so you would like to get possession of that.
If they're physicals.
Okay, if they're for sale by you'd have to send someone out to then get what's called the property information sheet. And then once we know the information on the sheet, we'll find out what the seller wants. But we can't know what the seller wants until we... Time can go, we could show them hundreds of deals where they can go knock on the door and go talk to a for sale by owner and see if we can then somehow control it by, offering them either, depending on what the deal is. I mean, if it's a foreclosure, if it's a pre-foreclosure, first of all, we have to even find out if it's a deal. You know what I mean? So this is where...
I think that's where, Paul came, with type of foreclosure, that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's actually have lawyers trying to figure out,
time consuming, as opposed to, I go to the auction and we're okay, you're going to tell me, here's $1 million, Romy, I need $60,000 a year. I'm going to tell you, I got to go find these 5 deals and I got to figure all this out, and I got to see all these things. You're asking me to do so many different variables, but when it's time to get paid, how do you get paid if we can't even control those variables? So how do I know that there's going to be another pastor with another 5 deals and another 5 deals and another 5 deals and another 5 deals? What if those deals dry up? What if you've entrusted to me? How am I going to back the trust that you've given me? I won't, because I'll be searching for deals. I'll be looking for things that are, you know, if you're telling me that people are going to sit down and we're going to go through a system where we can show them what to do and how to do it, we want to charge them a fee, because everybody has to learn, and it has to be a cost to something, a small fee, $99, you know. Then they get their little packet, and they sat in a 6 or 8 hours, some questions, and then they feel confident going out there, knocking on people's doors, and then filling out a property information sheet where we can then bring in a consistent amount of deals. That's what you need to tell me. But I've spent millions of dollars and I'm talking about 100 million. I'm talking about the wealth in the future of generations. You're going to lend me $3 million or $2 million. There's a debt clock on my head that I have to return if I give this guy a percentage. So every day when that money starts clicking and I don't bring in a deal, passes and we don't do what we said we were going to do, and we're living this lifestyle where people think it's lavish. This is where the people come and they kill the kings, the royalty. This is where they come and they say, you stole from me, and we're not people. So what I'm doing is I'm presenting to you a practical application based of what there's be so many people. Like last night he calls me and he goes, hey, there's an investor here, and you know, he'll pay us $10,000 to move a house next week. $10,000? Listen, my man, I'm at like $3,000 a minute. I have my own worth. I have a timetable that I put down for my own cash. I know what my time is valued at. So I'm burning $3,000 in 3 minutes if you want to really understand who and what I'm talking about. Jewish. I've infiltrated the highest levels of Caucasian, and I can walk through those doors and I can mingle our money and their money and our deals, and I can create wealth. What I can't do is I can't search around looking for what could be, should be, or would be. I need to know that you're going to trust your money, and you need to know. And I'm not from what I do, so you get what you're expecting to get. And we don't have any problems. And when 1 year comes by and you get what you're going to get, I might get 50 of your friends. I me to do. And this is why I have to be so adamant when I talk to people. And I'm not being a joke. I want you to know that when you entrust people with me, we're going to do what we say we're going to do. We got the facts. We got the proof. You can see the paperwork. You can go online. I can't show them FSBO deals that they're going to go online and they're going to see, and I buy. Now you sit down and you show someone in Haiti who can come here how they can invest $1 million. And they with his deals. to do anything else.
I don't want to do anything else except the sure thing.
And that's the foreclosure auctions every day.
That's the foreclosure auctions every day.
Anything. Let's put a class together.
Anything else?
Let's get people interested. Let's have them pay us a fee, and let's set something up.
Let's have them pay us a fee.
But if you have people with money right now,
you have people with money right now, we can go to the auction tomorrow, and we can start winning.
not knocking on doors, not talking to people, not being emotional, not hearing their stories, not hearing anything. I want to push a button, and I want to win the property, and I want to pay you your money. You want to give me money? I want to give you more money back.
You want to give me money? I want to give you more money back. That is our contract. That is my job.
Anything else?
I will do my job.
I'm not interested.
Anything else? I'm not interested.
Talking about people
what we're going to do is we're going to get together and we're going to show you how we can. So we don't want you to, everybody to do like one at a time. We want you to bring people, like 4 or 5 people that you may think have good credit. So we can sit down and we can talk to them about a credit program so we can do everybody at once. What we'll do is we'll open up an LLC with them. Their fees are they're going to have to open up an LLC.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up a,
and then what we're going to do is we're going to open up
let's say if it's here or if it's an office, a virtual office,
where
all the business lines of credit, everything goes to.
Virtual office.
So then once we set up that organization, if someone says yes, we can get business credit cards and business lines of credit to that.
We can get business credit cards.
Or we can start drawing down from it right now, or charging those credit cards, then using that cash to then deposit it into banks, money in a group buy from all the people, from all the LLCs. Now the LLCs are doing a purchase. Now we're putting it inside.
A group buy from all the people from all the LLCs. Now the LLCs are doing a purchase. Now we're putting it inside, and then we're purchasing it at the auction, and then we're then buying and then returning the fees. At the same time, we're building their credit. We're paying the monthly fees, and then when we pay back the credit cards, we ask for a higher lines of credit. So we kind of keep building everybody, keep building everybody, and keep building everybody. Make sense? I'm just trying to get us wealthy as fast as possible, with less pain. And then for people who have those, who want to go out there and do the pre-foreclosures, I used to knock on doors and talk to people all day and all day. And the thing about it is, with me, I can go to the $50 million house because it's the same property as the $1 million house. It's the same paperwork. They still sign the same closing docs. It's the same thing signed. It's, can you go knock on that door? So I'm tired of talking to people. I need the definite deals. I put the system together. We have the definite proof. Anything that you want that we can get together as an investment team and do is set in stone.
So, in LLC, how many people could be?
Oh, we're going to open up a new LLC with each person.
Each person open?
Yes, and then we'll open up a master LLC, then each person will open up mini LLCs underneath us that we can either connect, and then we'll use their credit and their personal guarantee to get the business lines of credit. And then what we'll do is then from those business lines of credit, we'll get the master LLC that we're involved in, because there's going to be many LLCs, and then we'll get like a merchant processor to take the credit cards, for the credit cards, and then for the lines of credit, then it'll go into a master account, which everything will be accountable, so we can always see what's going on. Very important. And then we want to put those into accounts where what we're going to do is then that master account will have a bunch. We're going to put money in the regional banks, 3 regional banks, and then we're going to write checks to each other, from SunTrust to whatever credit union to credit. And we're going to build lines of credit, draw down, ask for credit card increases or business line of credit increases if we pay them back, draw down that money, put it back in here, go to the second level where we go to when we, just like the local, we go to the regional, and then after. $10, $20 million in credit lines. So we're going to produce credit lines that then we're going to use the system. And then we're going to be buying, and then we're going to be returning these people their money so they can live in retirement the way they were supposed to live. Make sense?
Can I ask you, the presentation that you just did, do you have it recorded somewhere or online or something?
I will have it online. This is so fresh. I should have it in the next couple days that, you know, this is what I gave William after all the things. This is the presentation. This is the numbers we just finished that I handed to William, and William is taking it to West Palm Beach. So I'm moving in different circles. Paul has helped me enough, and we see eye to eye. And his system and my system don't conflict whatsoever. So I'm willing to help him become, and you become, and us become as wealthy as possible, using everything that I'm doing on this other side to our advantage.
Okay. For me, it's enough. I don't know for this.
I'm done. That was it. I had said this is, you know, any more questions? And if not, I can flip off the camera. All right. Thank you for being part of our first live beta of our super lean portfolio. This has just been a great run through. Really appreciate all your time, and thank you for watching Real Estate Investor TV.
You will see me again. I will be a member.
Yes. Hey,